My Gel X nails are looking a bit crusty and grown out, so I'm going to show you how you can use builder gel to do a fill instead of taking off the entire Gel X set. What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer. This has been something people have been asking me to do for so long, and I'm finally getting around to doing it. I'm going to show you how easy it is to do a fill of your full cover tip, or Gel X nails, as some people call them, instead of having to remove everything and totally redo them. So you're going to want to bust out an E-file. Now, you can do this by hand, but let me tell you, if you're going to do this by hand, your hands are probably going to get a bit tired. But if you're concerned about using an E-file, no problem, just get out a gritty hand file. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to, like when we normally do a fill on builder gel, when our nails have grown, you're trying to debulk some of the product, and then you're going to do your nail prep. So I'm going through with my Pana Coarse safety bit and just debulking some of the builder gel that I had over top of this Gel X set. If you don't have any builder gel down over top of your Gel X, then what you can do is you really wouldn't have to do as much of the filing right here that I'm doing with my E-file, because your layer is going to be pretty thin anyways. You would have already filed down to this. And if maybe you just put the gel straight over it in the color gel or the dip powder or whatever, you wouldn't need to do as much of the filing as I'm doing. So when you're using an E-file and you holding it in your right hand, E-filing on your left hand, you want to put it in forwards. And when you're holding an E-file in your left hand, E-filing on your right hand, you'll hold it in reverse. Once I get the bulk of the product down, then I'm going in with my thin little mini sanding bands. They're 240 grit from Melody Susie. I absolutely love these to do my prep. So I can use these for so many different things. One, I can use it to prep the natural nail. Two, I can use it to remove any of the lifting that I had with either my builder gel or my Gel X, which I really didn't have much of. I did honestly pick at it a little bit. I've been like crazy stressed out the past month or two, actually like the past year and a half. So I've been doing some things that I don't normally do, like picking at my dip or my builder gel. But use this little sanding band, prep your natural nails with it by very gently going over any of the new growth. And it's a 240 grit, so super gentle. And then you want to go around your cuticles and the sidewalls to make sure that there's no product stuck there. I've been doing dip over my nails, and sometimes a little bit of dip gets stuck on the side of my nails and back of my cuticles. So the nice thing about these sanding bands are I can easily remove any of the dip that was stuck with this, and they're gentle enough that I can very carefully go over my natural nail. Plus, I can go over the top of my builder gel that's down on top of the Gel X nails. And this way it gets them like roughed up a little bit so that the builder gel that we're going to use to do a fill, it adheres a lot better. I like to take a stiff nail brush to really make sure that all the powder is off my nails and my skin. I try to do that throughout when I'm e-filing, just because I don't want to leave the product sitting on my skin. I know obviously the gel's been cured and everything, but I get really itchy skin easily. So if you are like me and have sensitive skin, try brushing off throughout the filing process. Now this little bit is just a cuticle bit to make sure that no cuticle was stuck to my nail plate. Now we can go in and start our process of doing the fill with the builder gel. So push your cuticles back to make sure that all of your nail is exposed and you can really get in there for the rest of your prep. Now these two steps are super important. I know some people skip them, but I definitely would never skip them. First, you want to do Dehydrator on your nails, and I do this on one hand at a time because the next step after Dehydrator, the primer, you want that to be sticky so that your gel has something to adhere to. So whenever I'm using primer, I scrub it into my nails. People call it etching. It's basically just, rubbing the brush onto your nails. And what really helps with adhesion too is, regardless of the brand, I've seen a lot of them say to use 2 layers of it. So I've been doing that for years, regardless of the brand, and doing 2 layers of primer really helps me to get better adhesion. A lot of people do need base coat down before they do the builder gel. I am somebody who does not, so I skip that step and go right into doing the builder gel for the fill. Now, since there was some room left back at the back of my cuticles, obviously, since my nails grew out, something that I don't think I have talked about a lot is when you're doing the slip layer, I try to make sure that there's enough product at the back of my cuticle where the new nail has grown where there's growth there and there's that gap, and I try to make sure there's enough even in the slip layer so that that part of my nail is filling in. And that's what you're really essentially doing with a fill, is that you're filling in the area at the back near the cuticle that has grown out, and you're also rebalancing your apex. That's something that's super important too. Like, do not skip this when your nails get long. If you're somebody who keeps your nails super short, this is not as important. But if you keep your nails long, like right now in this video, mine are really long, you definitely don't want to skip focusing on your apex. So the first layer that you put down over your nail is called a slip layer. And what that does is it just allows the builder gel to flow nicely down your nail when you apply the bead. And it's really thin. You want to keep that slip layer thin and uncured. So then when you apply the bead of builder gel, you can float it down your nail. You put it a little bit up before the cuticle, kind of push it back towards the cuticle, and then gently float it down from side to side. And you want to focus the majority of the product within your apex area, right? Like the apex is the highest point of your nail. The way you can tell where your apex needs to be is if your nails are naked, or before you go and do the fill, if you press on the tip of your nail, you'll see a little part in the middle of your nail come up kind of white, and that's how you know exactly where your apex needs to be. I saw this trick, I don't even know how many years ago, and I've been using it, and it has worked so well for me to be able to figure out where my apex needs to be. So one other thing that I do that I absolutely love doing and will continue to do, I can't get my builder gel application for the fills, for the regular builder gel, to be perfect. So what I like to do is use a thin nail art brush and really move the builder gel around. And I'll show you coming up when I do my right hand. So I'm right-handed and I need to do a little bit more work with the thin nail art brush. I'll show you up close how exactly I move the thin nail art brush around to make sure that my apex is in the right area. I was recently helping a nail friend with some questions about builder gel and how to work on the apex, and something that you want to be really aware of is the area at your cuticle and the tip of your nail should be thinner than the middle of your nail, which is where you put the apex. So cuticles should not be thick. The builder gel should slope down towards your cuticle, and then at the tip of your nail, the builder gel should also slope down from the apex there. You don't want the tip of your nails to be as thick as your apex, or you're not giving it the proper strength that it needs, when you could potentially break it. The whole point of the apex is to build strength on your nails, especially as they grow out. One thing that I didn't mention while I was doing my left hand is make sure that you flash cure each nail like 5 to 10 seconds before moving to the next nail. That's going to keep your builder gel in the exact position that you want it, so that you don't do all that work to get your apex to look good. You're keeping the product off your skin, and then you forget to flash cure it and it all kind of like slips down into your cuticle. So make sure you do that like 5 to 10 second flash cure, and when you're totally done with all of your nails, you can cure your pinky through pointer together and then cure your thumb separately, because we tend to hold our thumbs at a weird angle. So definitely cure it separately to make sure it is properly curing. Now let's talk about doing the right hand when you're right-handed. It's a lot harder. So you're going to see me here use the thin nail art brush more. What I have to do, especially when I'm using my left hand to do the builder gel fills or just regular builder gel on my right hand, is I have to use the thin nail art brush to pull the builder gel to the right spots. So I definitely missed getting some of the builder gel on the sides of my nails and then back at the cuticle. I made sure I moved the builder gel around with that nail art brush. And sometimes what I do is I tend to get a little bit too much of the builder gel at the tip of my nails. So I just kind of flip my nail back and pull the builder gel from the tip of my nails back towards my apex. That has been so huge for me in making sure that my apex area is right, making sure that my tips aren't too thin, even, making sure that the back near my cuticles isn't too thick, because you want it to slope down towards your cuticles instead of being like a straight hump or a straight ridge, so that when they grow out, they're just like this flat kind of sticking out ridge type thing. Those are all different things that really will help you when you're doing your builder gel application, when you're filling Gel X nails like this, anytime you're using a gel product like rubber base too. That also applies that you want to keep your tips thin and your cuticles thin and keep your apex the thickest. You know, when I'm working on my right hand, you see that I have to do a lot more movement of the builder gel with that nail art brush, because my placement just with my left hand, it just doesn't work as well since I'm right-handed. Now I've gotten a lot better at dipping with my left hand because I dip a lot more, but I only fill my builder gel or fill my Gel X nails every couple weeks versus dip. I'm doing usually 2 times a week. At the least, I'm doing it 1 time. So my left hand's gotten better, way better at dip, and I'm still working on my left hand getting better at builder gel and fills and Gel X. Once you're totally done with your right hand, then you can go through and do your full cure, doing the pointer through pinky together and then the thumb separately. And I wipe my nails off with isopropyl alcohol. The reason that I do that is because I like to buff my builder gel super, super smooth. And then I like to do a little bit of filing to really make sure that the shape is what I want. So the reason that I like to go in and buff my builder gel is because I love the look of builder gel that is buffed super smooth and just left bare. When I don't have my dip manis on, it's so nice to just have that builder gel underneath, even, you know, over top of the Gel X like I have. And it just gives it such, like, I feel like such a natural, classy look. All the products that I'm using in this video, I will make sure I link in the description. The builder gel that I'm using is from OG Dip Powder. It's called Pink. It's pink builder gel in a bottle. I absolutely love it. It's a beautiful shade. And sometimes I use clear, sometimes I use, you know, a pink or like a neutral shade or maybe a white. It just, honestly, I've been using clear for a while now and only recently felt like jumping back into pink. You can use whatever color you want of builder gel. You don't have to fill your nails with clear. You can fill it with a pink or I know there's blue builder gel or whatever color you want. If you have large hands like I do, using a big file like this, these are flexible files. They help smooth out the builder gel so nicely. And I like to make sure that I maintain that curve on my builder gel. So what you want is you want your nails to be in a C curve. That's why I like to do buffing with these big giant flexible files, because I buff in a C motion or a U motion to keep that nice curve, because your builder gel should be curving down towards the side walls of your nails and then down towards the tip and down towards your cuticle, and basically it just like meets at the apex where that's the highest point, and everywhere else it should be curving down nicely to the other areas of your nail. If your builder gel gets a little wonky too when you're doing your application, do not worry. Between the buffing block and the hand file that I use, you can get your shape to look just how you want. If you messed up a little bit and got too much on one side, no problem. You can just use your hand file, fix up your shape. And even if your builder gel ended up too thick at the tips or something, just grab your hand file out and file a little bit of it down. These are some of my best secrets that I do not keep secret for getting that beautiful builder gel nail. You can be a little bit rough on your application as long as you're keeping it off your skin. A buffing block and a hand file are going to be your best friends. If you're still struggling with your Gel X application and builder gel overlays, make sure you check out this next video and I will help you. Thanks for joining me today, nail crew.